I love this guy. He comes and goes on a rainbow. He is the culture blaster, Michael Snyder, everybody. Come on for Michael Snyder.
Happy Friday to everybody. Yeah. Mark, Kim, John Daly, everybody
that
out there in listener and viewer land. And I'm so excited, obviously, for the Niners-Dolphins game this coming weekend. But yesterday, I had the thrill of seeing the first trailer for the upcoming Indiana Jones movie.
Oh.
The fifth in the series and the final go-round for Gruff and Tumble, get that? Gruff and Tumble senior citizen Harrison Ford in the role of the daring adventurer. The trailer, by the way, also revealed the title of the movie. This is the first big revelation of the title.
What is that?
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I mean, really? Seriously?
Are you serious? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I just hope that if Indy uses the Dial of Destiny, he follows that up by powdering with the Gold Bond of Glory.
Oh, because Dial is the thing.
They threw out the Irish Spring of Insight. They didn't like that one. There was the Palmolive of Power. They settled on. By the way, considering that the movie takes place in the 60s, shouldn't it have been called Indiana Jones and the Rotary Dial of Destiny? I'm just asking.
Michael, you just got the dial you're going to play. There are no more word plays on the dial? I'm
done. Let's move on to movies, buddy. It's the weekend and new films are opening and available to be seen. Let's kick it off with Violent Night.
I was hoping you would tell me how Violent Night is.
Violent Night answers the question, what if we set Die Hard in a remote mansion and replace John McClane with Old St. Nick? I mean, oh my God, what an inspired idea.
So this is interesting. Old St. Nick is not a bad guy. I thought in the trailers he looks like a bad guy.
No, it's played in Violent Night by David Harbour, the sheriff on Stranger Things.
Right.
Santa is the baddest of bad Santas. He's the real deal, only embittered, burnt out, and prone to drinking hooch after thousands of years of bringing the toys. On this particular Christmas Eve, he's forced to bring the pain instead. So it goes down during his stop for cookies, milk, and scotch at a mansion owned by the cunning matriarch of a super wealthy family.
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's alcohol in
he gets drunk and starts shooting the place up, or what?
There is. So the clan is gathered there, and it's a son and a daughter who are the matriarch's heirs, and they're kind of jockeying for her favor. There are their spouses and a couple of grandkids. One is an obnoxious wannabe social media influencer, and the other is a sweet young girl who, thankfully for all concerned, still believes in Santa. So even as Kris Kringle is getting ready to leave a few prezzies upstairs and split in his sleigh, he's got the sleigh with reindeer, the family is taken hostage by a gang of trigger-happy thieves whose leader is a particularly nasty fellow and a Christmas hater, played by John Leguizamo.
Well, it's one thing not to hate Christmas, another thing it's bloody though, right?
Right. Santa has a dilemma here. Does he go on to the next stop on his global gifting tour, or does he stay and help the endangered family? Now, you can kind of guess what he ends up doing, whether he likes it or not. I mean, the guy's potted. He's potted. So the laughs come at you with regularity. Even when Violent Night rolled out a few deliberately cheesy B-movie moments, they tickled me. Lampooning the Santa mythology in the context of an indestructible hero action thriller was touched on fairly recently with the Mel Gibson bomb Fat Man, but Violent Night does it much better and way funnier. It seems like everyone, especially Harbour, I think, got a kick out of making Violent Night, which also has a bit of Home Alone to it. I was thoroughly entertained. Violent Night is in theaters.
I had no idea it's a comedy. The trailer does not make it seem like a comedy.
It's an action comedy featuring a drunken Santa, and it's really Santa.
That's
him.
weird.
It's him. Anyway,
doesn't it have to be a comedy? I mean, how do you make that?
I don't know, but I don't know that this is one for your offspring, Kim. But I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Or Eric Kennedy, who wants something to watch with his kid. I don't think that's the.
How old is the kid? Anyway, let's get to something a little more serious.
Yes, please.
There's a new adaptation of D.H. Lawrence's steamy romance novel, Lady Chatterley's Lover, that's in theaters and now today on Netflix. I've seen a few movie versions of Lady Chatterley's Lover, and I have to say that this is one of them. No, wait. All kidding aside, director Laure de Clermont-Tonnerre has done a magnificent job.
God, give him a ding for the Lord, whatever his name is.
Laure, a wonderful job of interpreting this erotic tale of a well-to-do married woman's affair with one of the servants on her wheelchair-bound husband's estate. The cast is superb, especially the leads. Emma Corrin, who you might recall as Diana Spencer in season 4 of The Crown, is Lady Constance Connie Chatterley here. Corrin and Jack O'Connell as her lover, gamekeeper Oliver Meliors, have serious smoking on-screen chemistry, and meanwhile, Corrin and Matthew Duckett as Connie's aristocrat husband, Sir Clifford Chatterley, have what's the opposite of chemistry? No chemistry. Either before he goes off to fight in World War I.
You mean on screen or you mean in the story?
On screen. I mean, how do I know what's going on off screen? Was I part of that production, Mark?
No, but I mean in the story, you're saying they lack
Am I little
chemistry.
Lord Chatterley? Is that what you're saying?
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, there's no chemistry. Before he goes off to fight in World War I, no chemistry. And certainly when he gets back from the front with crippling injuries that leave him unable to walk and either physically or, I don't know, psychologically impotent. The script is lean, sharp, and thoroughly adult. The manor, the countryside, the nearby village are beautifully shot, and the crucial sex scenes are lovely, whether implicit or, get this, explicit. Other than the incredibly...
It was great. I loved it.
There's an incredible...
That is not, it's not for kids, please.
Other than the incredibly hot French version from 2006...
It's fantastic.
Stop it.
That actually ignited a romance between two filmgoers.
Is
I know.
That right?
Yeah, in 2006, the French version.
They got so hot watching the scenes that they hooked up?
Absolutely.
Wow.
This is the best cinematic Lady Chatterley's Lover. Other than that one, the best I've had the pleasure of viewing, again in theaters and on Netflix.
Wow.
Okay, Nanny. Nanny is a potent, twisty, and disturbing surprise of a movie. And no, Mark, there's no sign of Fran Drescher. This Nanny is far from a sitcom. It delves into the bleak side of the refugee experience, racial strife, class conflict, and questions of family responsibility and fidelity, while weaving in subtle psychological horror and unsettling elements of African mythology. So, a young actress who goes by the name on television of Mame Anna Diop, and here is just Anna Diop. She's probably best known as Starfire on the very cool DC HBO Max superhero show Titans. Here, she's a revelation as Aisha, a Senegalese immigrant who scores a plum job as a nanny for the sheltered daughter of a well-to-do urban American couple. She's determined to earn enough money to bring her young son from her African homeland to the U.S., but as she grows closer to the daughter that she's, the nanny of, it seems like something supernatural has started to kind of stalk her. She's stalking Aisha, fraying her nerves, undermining her relationship with her increasingly, get ready with the ding, diffident employers.
Oh my God, that is such a ding word.
Especially the little girl's mother, played in conniving fashion by Michelle Monaghan. Although low-key in parts, this is ultimately a tour de force for Diop, whose character's underlying turbulence...
I ding tour de force.
The underlying turbulence of the character slowly but inevitably cracks through her carefully restrained facade. I expect some serious recognition for her work.
Ding facade.
During this year's Independent Spirit Awards, Nanny is mesmerizing stuff.
I ding mesmerizing.
Are we dealing with infants here? Come on, everybody knows. I should
be. It's not a question of knowing it. It's a question of it being a big word.
Okay,
you
anyway,
used a smaller word, but you used mesmerizing.
I think this movie is going to gain its screenwriter and director Nikiatu Jesu some justified acclaim, and despite its unsettling impact, its horror is far less visceral than some things that would put you off.
Visceral's a ding word. Oh my
anyway,
God. All right. Yeah.
Nanny is in select theaters.
You liked it though.
It will be very much so. It's available for streaming on December 16th via Amazon.
Okay.
Let's see here.
You've got only time for one more, Michael Snyder. It's like choosing between children, these movies.
I don't want to... I was thinking of talking about The Son with Hugh Jackman. It was done by the same guy who did the Academy Award winner, The Father, and it's a different family, even though obviously... this is a talented filmmaker. The guy's named Florian Zeller, and Anthony Hopkins won a Best Actor Oscar for The Father.
The Father was brilliant, yeah.
But The Son is pretty weak sauce. And,
wow, is that right?
It's like melodrama.
And what's The Son about?
Well, it's basically about a family, a different family from the one in the father, and the effects of depression on the relationship between a teenage boy and his estranged parents. And
It's the same family or not?
no, as I just said, it's not the same family.
that's
Different
good.
family. And Hugh Jackman is quite good, and there's good support there. But I would rather tell you about something that was so much fun.
Okay, all right,
because that's
so,
just
all
a
right,
bummer.
Tell me about something that was so much fun.
All right.
Now you're getting
Okay.
out of here. I don't know all day. Nikki's got a show.
Depending on their size and intent, trolls are like the Godzillas or King Kongs of Scandinavia, or elves are. And I've seen a couple of pretty fantastic troll-centric movies from Scandinavia. The award-winning 2018 Swedish film Border and the droll 2010 Norwegian mockumentary Troll Hunter. There was no sign, by the way, of those cute little furry-headed dolls in either, but we have a new movie with a title that gets straight to the point. It's called Troll, and I totally enjoyed it. When an excavation to drill a tunnel through a Norwegian mountain awakens an enormous ancient mythic creature, it heads for Oslo, the capital city. The prime minister and her cabinet are freaked out. The only people who could stop this crazy thing are a paleontologist with daddy issues, her unhinged father, who's a folklore expert, an advisor to the prime minister, and a square-jawed military man. I had a ball watching Troll, which manages to be straight-faced and tongue-in-cheek at the same time as it breathes a little life into the giant monster movie cliches. It's directed by a guy, by the way, named Roar Utog. That's right, a guy named Roar directed a movie about a giant monster.
That's a strong name, though, Roar Utah.
It is. Mostly in Norwegian with English subtitles. Again, available on Netflix. I really got a kick out of Troll, and if you like monster movies, this is a little different and yet very satisfying.
He likes Troll. You can find it, as you say, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's like a B movie, but it's so much fun.
And The Son, the Florian Zeller film, the follow-up to The Father, which is an Academy Award nominated film.
Different family.
God, it was different. In any case, The Son he doesn't like. It was one of the films that he's not crazy for.
Yeah, it's in theaters, and it was a disappointment.
Yeah, Nanny he likes. He felt that and the Nanny's in theaters as well, sir?
It is, and it will be coming to Amazon Prime in a matter of days, December 16th.
Nanny he liked. Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Sexy.
Really liked
Hot.
it. He said Michael Snyder, he's seen all of the incarnations of Lady Chatterley's Lover, all the different iterations. I'll give incarnation and iteration a ding.
Even the one from 2006 that ignited a romance.
Yes, that's right, and told a story, or just referenced a story about a hot romance that was born at a screening. Anyway, Lady Chatterley's Lover, he thinks this is the best one.
Loved it.
And it's in theaters?
It is in theaters and will also be visible on Netflix starting today. Netflix has been like a gold mine today.
All of a sudden, yeah, Netflix really is rallying. Violent Night, which is the action comedy, kind of a Die Hard meets Santa.
Yeah, it's sort of like Miracle on Nakatomi Plaza. It's kind of, I think that's sort of the way it is.
That's very strong. He really recommends it. He's going to get me to watch it.
It's not for everybody, but
I wasn't going to watch it until you really. If it's Die Hardy, I kind of like Die Hard.
It's very Die Hardy, and I got to say, David Harbour is
so
he's a
talented,
delight.
yeah.
He's very entertaining, and if you liked him as the sheriff in Stranger Things, or you like him as the commie superhero in the Black Widow movie from Marvel, you're going to love him in this Violent Night. I
was going to say that Daryl says in the chat, it's a tough job. Someone has to see all these movies. Thanks, Michael.
I am very grateful for you checking in, and you're very welcome. And I do have a good time most of the time, but man,
once in a while you gotta sit through some stinkers.
And I stay till the bitter end, Mark.
Yeah, you do not. He does not bail. He does not bail. Michael, have a great weekend. You can read him in the Marina Times. You can see him, and we can hear him here. Eventually, we'll have enough money for a camera for you.
Hey, check me
Right
out,
now,
by
we
the
do
way,
not.
on Twitter at Culture Blaster. And go Niners. This is going to be quite a task,
It
quite
will
a
be.
test.
Dolphins actually have a team this year. So, yes, have a good weekend. We'll see you here back Friday. Culture Blaster comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye, Michael.
Farewell, everybody.
Wow, the Culture Blaster, everyone.